Oh, what? Yeah. Got your boiling maple sap. I just filled it up again so it's not boiling right now, and I fixed the fire a little bit and put a couple chunks in there. I got it. I got it hanging on. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. I got it hanging on a log. I put a log in between two trees. So I got it hanging, and I like doing it like that because when it gets too hot, I can grab this chain here and I can pull it back off the heat. I don't have to pull up the whole thing to get it off the heat if it gets too hot. I got these cinder blocks all the way around it to kind of funnel the heat up towards, so all the heat's not going out the sides. Anyway, I wanted to say something about something I've seen through quite a few years now. Um, it's about our Anishinaabe um, Ojibwe language. Um, kind of. I grew up when I was small. There was a lot of first speakers around. I was lucky enough to be able to hear them and listen to them talk. And there's a difference between um, what it was back then and how it is now. And the words don't quite sound the same. A little different. But I just wanted to, explain something the way I see things. To let you know what my point of view on this is, on how I understand it. It may be different for you, but I just wanted to, express how I see the things. Our language is more like more like sounds. You know what I mean? Like the English language. When you read the English language, you when you read it, the words sound like it's how it's written, like the the word, word, word. But the our Ojibwe language is, I believe it's more sounds. When I try to read those words, the words that I know, then I try to spell them. I can't spell the words, even how I gotta try to spell them phonetically instead of how they come up with this double I's, all this stuff. The best way I can explain it is like if there's ducks, there's some ducks swimming in the lake here, and you can hear them over there. And you try to write down what they're saying to each other, and you write it down. It says Quack, 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 quack. You go to those ducks over there, and you try to talk to them. Quack, quack, quack. They'll look at you and fly away. You're not going to know what you're saying. It's kind of how our languages. It's hard to spell sounds. It's like like the word AHO. I see that a lot now. I use a lot too when I mess around on Facebook, and I use a ho. You know, when I was small, especially when I got their meetings and stuff, and somebody gets done saying a prayer or something, you hear the old guys, oh, like oh, it's kind of spelled different than you can't spell that. Oh, how do you spell that? AHO. So now everybody says a ho. It's a little different, you know, kind of saying the same thing, but it's a little different. I noticed that when I was in college. I took Ojibwe 1 over here at the Leech Lake Tribal College. I was talking with our instructor there, and you know, this word ikito, you know, it's that means that's what that person said, you know, ikito, and she spelled it up on the board, Ikido. And I looked at it, I was like, it looks weird. It's the first time I've ever seen that spelled ikito. You know, the Ikido. That D almost sounds like a T, and it's like not. You know, well, that's the closest you can spell it. And when we were learning that word, everybody was reading that word, and instead of saying ikito, they were saying they'd stop and look at that word, and they'd say ikidu. I was like, no, well, that's how it's spelled. Well, that's not how it's said either. You know, it's spelled like that, but it's said, it's pronounced a little different. So you know, when you go read these, when you're reading Indian words, you know, use that as a guide. Don't use it as, you know, concrete. That's not how you say it. When you see those words spelled like that, just kind of use that as a guide instead of imagine. See if you ever heard a first speaker talk, kind of imagine them talking when you're reading that word, and then it kind of flows better. It seems like because if you read those words and try to say it, it sounds all weird. It's like trying to walk up to this dog over here and trying to talk to him and saying bark, 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 bark. He'll look at you. Oh, who are you talking about? You know this. Well, you know that's what I've noticed. That's what I've seen. It was almost starting to boil again. It usually boils on that side over there first. And another thing too, a lot of things that I've seen here, especially in the last couple of years, is that our Indian language, our Anishinaabe, it's it's almost extinct, and we need to try to preserve that as much as possible. So I hear people, you know, shorten those words down. Got a good boil now, like miigwech. Oh, miigwech. Instead, people say many meags. You know, don't do that to our language. You know, we're trying to preserve it. Don't shorten it down. People say, you know, different things. They refer to Gitchi Manadu, and they just say Gitchi. Gitchi. But you know, don't do that to our language. You know, you keep those words how they're supposed to be. You know, English words. You know, that's everybody talks that. You know, it's just that our Indian language. You know, try to preserve that and keep it as, you know, sacred as possible. Because, you know, pretty soon there ain't going to be anybody around that talks that. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, that's some words from a crazy old guy like me. Anyway, oh,